So lads, Aliyah Boston has just said something. She has said something. She gave an answer to a question that obviously people are going to be asked, the Hebrew players are going to be asked, and she did it in the best possible way.
The WNBA finds itself once again at the center of a manufactured controversy as DeWanna Bonner makes her return to Indianapolis, only to face the entirely predictable reception she deserved. While league veterans and media members have chosen to paint Indiana Fever fans as villains, few have dared to address the real narrative unfolding before their eyes. This wasn't hostility for hostility's sake. This was a fanbase reacting to betrayal. Bonner wasn't forced out. She wasn't traded without notice. She signed a deal, cashed the checks, underperformed, and then walked away when the going got tough. That's not an unfortunate situation, that's a broken commitment. And fans, the ones who keep this league afloat with their loyalty and wallets, are supposed to just swallow that quietly, instead of acknowledging the pain and frustration of a community that was promised leadership and got disinterest. Commentators deflected. They framed boos as toxic and backlash as disrespectful. But the truth is simpler: when athletes ask to be taken seriously as professionals, that comes with professional accountability. No one is above it, not even a veteran with a decorated resume. Fans weren't out of line. They were finally drawing one.
Was it like having DeWanna Bonner return to Indiana? What were your thoughts on the fan reception tonight?
Honestly, that got nothing to do with me. I think DB returned because we were playing Phoenix, and so that happened to be that. The fans chose to do what they wanted to do, but for us it's about paying attention to what we have to do here, and that was coming in and getting a big win, which we were able.
This reveals the growing divide between fans who understand accountability and a league that seems more interested in protecting feelings than acknowledging reality. In this age of social media outrage and manufactured drama, common sense has become as rare as a DeWanna Bonner highlight reel from her brief Indiana stint. What should have been a straightforward moment of fan expression has been twisted into a moral debate. But here's the reality: fans weren't cruel, they were honest. They responded not with hate, but with disappointment. And instead of listening, the league turned its back on them, opting to shelter a player who walked away rather than support a fanbase that never did.
Boo people for less. I boo people for way less. Like, if somebody played for my team, my favorite team, and they left after 9 to 10 games, wasn't a good fit. I'm sure she dealt with some shit. I'd feel the type of way her coming back into my house. That's just fandom, okay? So, again, open to constructive feedback. I think that's sports, man. I'm going to be booing people all the time. I love it. Boo. I love boo.
During Wednesday night's game between the Indiana Fever and Phoenix Mercury, with the Fever looking to continue their impressive run, DeWanna Bonner checked into the game and received exactly what any rational sports fan would expect: a chorus of boos from fans who remember being abandoned mid-season. This wasn't some shock reaction, it was the natural outcome of a fanbase holding a player accountable. Bonner didn't get traded. She didn't suffer a career-ending injury. She walked away from the team. And the fans, who show up night after night to support the players wearing that jersey, weren't about to pretend like nothing happened. This wasn't hostility, it was consequence. A reminder that loyalty in sports still matters to the people paying to watch.
I might lose some of you with this one, but I'm open to constructive feedback, okay? I don't think it's a big deal that DeWanna Bonner got booed. I don't. I love that Kalia Copper stuck up for her post-game interview, right? Like, that's her teammate, that's her girl. She said what she needed to say. I boo people for less. I boo people for way less. Like, if somebody played for my team, my favorite team, and they left after 9 to 10 games, wasn't a good.
The moment was as predictable as it was justified. Bonner, who signed with the Fever as a marquee free agent acquisition, played exactly 9 games before deciding the fit wasn't right and requesting her release. No major injury. No scandal. Just poor play, low effort, and a quiet exit stage left when things didn't go her way. Fans weren't just reacting to stats, they were reacting to what they saw as a lack of professionalism. When someone walks out mid-season after cashing checks and delivering subpar performances, that's not just how the game goes. That's quitting. And when she returned in another uniform just weeks later, the boos weren't cruel, they were earned.
Expect expecting the Indiana Fever fans to what? Give her a warm welcome back in the Gainbridge after sitting here and quitting on the team not even halfway through the season, and you talking about it's distasteful, it's disrespectful the way DeWanna Bonner quit on this team. This is sports. You women's basketball players and women's basketball fans sit up here and act like everything is supposed to be peaches and cream all the time. Stadiums, arenas, everybody boos play.
What followed was the kind of professional response that has defined Aliyah Boston's career. She told reporters, "That fan reaction got nothing to do with me," and added that fans chose to do what they wanted to do. No drama. No defensiveness. Just maturity and poise from a young star who understands the line between fan expression and on-court focus. Boston could have stoked the flames or played politics, but instead, she stayed grounded, letting her 22-point, 12-rebound performance do all the talking. In a game full of emotion, she showed exactly why she's the face of the franchise.
Literally. Perfect.
Honestly, that got nothing to do with me.
That got nothing to do with me, first of all. It's very different than we don't condone that. We don't like seeing that. Like, nothing about that. It was literally no negative things towards fans, which, you know, they probably would have hoped that Aliyah Boston called out the fans. Just, yeah, it had nothing to do with me. She doesn't want to get herself involved in the wrath of the old WNBA.
Meanwhile, Mercury players popped up like jack-in-the-boxes at a grievance convention, ready to turn routine fan behavior into the next great sports injustice. But here's where the story gets interesting. Well, interesting in the most predictable way possible. Instead of acknowledging that booing is a fundamental part of professional sports, Mercury star Aliyah Boston labeled Fever fans distasteful for expressing their disappointment. This wasn't a personal attack. This was a fanbase reacting to a player who walked away mid-season after delivering 9 uninspired games. What did Copper expect? Applause? A bouquet at half-court? The truth is, fans aren't obligated to suppress their reactions just to protect someone's ego, especially when they feel burned. This isn't distasteful. It's sports. Welcome to the real world, where passion comes with noise.
I don't understand, you know, like, she's a legend, and just all the things that she's done for the league, and just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the crowd. People talked some trash to her, but you know, we had her back. But it's just very distasteful for what their fans.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Now, here's where this story takes a turn from merely disappointing to absolutely infuriating. Mercury players, bless their hearts, have chosen to ignore every legitimate reason fans might be upset with DeWanna Bonner. Instead, they've framed the booing as some sort of moral failing on the part of the Indiana faithful. Let that sink in. Professional athletes, who know exactly how sports fandom works, are out here acting like expressing disappointment in a player who quit is somehow out of bounds. That we're not talking about a player who was traded or cut. We're talking about someone who took a contract, underperformed massively, and then walked away when it got uncomfortable. And yet the outrage from the Mercury bench wasn't over Bonner's lack of accountability, it was directed at the fans who dared to care. The same fans who show up, buy tickets, wear the jerseys, and cheer through the rebuild. The same fans who had every right to feel burned. Instead of empathy for those supporters, we got finger-pointing and lectures. That's not leadership. That's deflection.
Aliyah Copper. You know that she quit on the team, right? You know that she quit on the team. She quit. She's a quitter. Money that we could have used on a free agent that actually has mental fortitude, that's mentally strong, not mentally weak. We could have went out and signed them to help us actually turn this team into a winning team. Try to help us build toward the future. Instead, DeWanna Bonner and Stephanie White talked to each other in a dark room and said, yeah, I'll get you over here.
Exactly. This isn't just about stats or playing time, it's about responsibility and respect for the people who keep the league alive, the fans. DeWanna Bonner wasn't some fringe roster addition. She was brought in as a cornerstone, a seasoned veteran with championship pedigree, specifically tasked with helping mold a young, high-expectation roster into something real. Instead, she mailed in 9 uninspiring performances, got moved to the bench, justifiably, and rather than fight through adversity, she opted out. Now, fans are expected to just forget? Smile? Clap politely? No. Sports don't work like that, and they're not supposed to. The boos weren't personal attacks. They were a response, the most honest and traditional kind in sports. When someone quits on your team, you let them know how you feel when they come back. It's not petty. It's not distasteful. It's earned. The fact that some players are rushing to defend Bonner while ignoring the emotional investment fans make, especially when money is tighter and support is louder than ever, is what's truly disappointing. The league can't ask for passionate fandom and then act shocked when passion shows up wearing a frown.
She signed, she played like 9 games, and then she said, I don't want to be here anymore, and I'm not going to show up until you release me. Basically quit on the team, because she wanted to be back home with Alyssa Thomas in Phoenix, which, I mean, totally fair, but why would you sign a contract with Indiana if you just wanted to be home? You know, that doesn't make any sense. And so she leaves, she quits on the team, and now she returns to Indiana, and she gets booed. And people are with...
Exactly. Aliyah Boston demonstrated the kind of maturity and leadership that every franchise dreams of. She didn't take the bait, didn't make it about herself, didn't deflect, she played. And she won. No interviews soaked in self-pity, no social media subtweets, no drama, just cold, efficient basketball. That's what real professionals do. Contrast that with DeWanna Bonner's camp, where every microphone becomes a podium for grievance. Instead of facing the consequences of her decision to walk away from a team that invested in her, Bonner, and her Mercury teammates, have tried to spin this as some kind of injustice. The message seems to be, we want your loyalty, but only on our terms. And if you react emotionally when we let you down, you're the problem. No one's disputing Bonner's career resume. She's had a great run. But this specific situation, she dropped the ball, and fans are absolutely right to call it out. They're not booing her because she's a legend. They're booing because she failed to show up when it mattered and then acted like he didn't owe anyone an explanation. What Boston gets, and what the league would do well to learn, is that fans can handle losing. They can handle growing pains. What they won't tolerate is quitting. And that's not disrespect, that's standards.
Fans can do what they want to do. The fan chose to do what they want to do. That was simple as that. Nice and easy. Simple as that. Let's not say a negative thing. She said the fans did what the fans did. She made her bed. She can lay in it. Basically, that ain't nothing to do with me. Yeah. Love this response. Great response. Great answer.
Exactly. And that contrast is the heart of the entire story. It's not about whether DeWanna Bonner is a bad person or whether fans are being too harsh. It's about accountability. It's about actions and consequences, something professional sports has always embraced, until suddenly it doesn't. That what's happening now isn't just a defense of Bonner, it's a quiet attempt to rewrite the rules of what fan engagement is supposed to look like. We've moved from support your team through ups and downs to support every player unconditionally, even when they underperform and walk away mid-season. That's not just unrealistic, it's insulting to the intelligence of the fan base. Aliyah Boston didn't ask fans to silence themselves. She didn't beg for praise. She showed up, kept her head down, and hooped. That's how you win over a fan base, with sweat, not spin. And that's why Fever fans rallied behind her instead of Bonner. Not because they're mean. Not because they're distasteful. But because they recognize effort when they see it, and abandonment when they feel it. The league doesn't need to coddle players from criticism, it needs to respect the fans enough to let them speak. Booing isn't hate. It's passion. And in a league that's still growing and fighting for relevance, the last thing it should be doing is punishing the people who care the most.
Hilarious that in the first game that Phoenix plays Indiana after signing Ari and DeWanna Bonner leaving, Ari has a season high of 27 points and DeWanna Bonner only scored 4 points for the Phoenix Mercury last night. And let me be clear. Yes, DeWanna Bonner is a legend. Yes, she is a WNBA great. Yes, she's accomplished great things for the league. However, if you leave a team after 9 games in the way that she left, when you come back and play that team, of course their fans are going to boo you. That's like common.
Exactly. The Indiana Fever fan base isn't the problem, they're the model. They show up, they care deeply, and they're vocal. That's the kind of passion leagues beg for in markets where the seats are empty and the buzz is non-existent. But in this case, the very passion that's helped rejuvenate interest in the WNBA is being used against them, as if emotional investment becomes toxic the moment it turns critical, and it's not just about this one game. As you said, this fan base has endured false accusations, condescension from national voices, and constant policing of their enthusiasm. When things go well, they're labeled bandwagon fans. When they express frustration, they're disrespectful. It's a lose-lose. What's truly refreshing is when figures like Mercury coach Nate Tibbetts acknowledge what everyone already knows: booing is normal. It's part of the sports ecosystem. You can't have loyalty without disappointment, and you can't demand fan investment while rejecting their right to react. This isn't about hate, it's about holding players to the same standard of commitment that fans hold themselves to every game. The Fever fans earn the right to be heard, and they exercise that right the way sports fans always have, loudly.
Yeah, I think just in sports, it's kind of what you have to anticipate, right? Yeah, I thought she handled it fine. That's kind of how sports works. You go into a former home of yours, and typically, if you don't leave on your terms, the fans aren't going to be happy. And that's what they.
The most telling aspect of Aliyah Boston's response is what she didn't do. She didn't throw her fans under the bus. She didn't apologize for their entirely reasonable reaction. She didn't engage in virtue signaling about respect and legends. Instead, she did what professional athletes are supposed to do. She focused on basketball, delivered a dominant performance, and let her play speak for itself. That's leadership in its purest form, protecting your people while staying locked in on what actually matters. Compare that to the Mercury players, who seem more focused on criticizing fan behavior than understanding the reasons behind it. Kalia Kappa's comments about Bonner being the sweetest soul and the situation not working for her completely missed the point. Professional sports isn't about being sweet. It's about commitment, perseverance, and honoring the responsibilities that come with signing a contract. Bonner failed on all three, and fans are well within their rights to voice their disappointment.
Indiana Fever land. It's their time. You hear me? We booing all type of stuff. We ain't trying to hear all of that. Y'all crying about booing. But y'all used to playing in front of 10 fans. At the end of the day, man, head up, chest out. I can't believe y'all crying and whining and still trying to say these dumb allegations, bruh. And then you taking shots at my precious CC? Man, what she do to you? She ain't even played.
The irony is striking. While Mercury players rush to defend Dana Bonner's legacy, they're unintentionally undercutting the very qualities that built that legacy: accountability, resilience, and leadership. Championships and all-star nods are not participation trophies, they're earned through consistency and toughness over time. Walking away after 9 underwhelming games because things got uncomfortable doesn't just tarnish this season, it calls into question how much of that legacy still holds weight today. Bonner's exit said more about where she is now than where she's been. And that's why Aliyah Boston stands in such stark contrast. She represents exactly what Bonner was supposed to bring to Indiana: toughness, poise, and the ability to rise in the biggest moments. Her refusal to deflect blame or police fan reactions shows maturity, not just as a player, but as a leader. When things got tough, Boston leaned in. That's what real leaders, and real champions, do.
They're distasteful for booing. They are fans Indiana fans are distasteful for booing a basketball player on the opposing team. This is insanity. Y'all cannot handle fans. Y'all don't want fans, so do not ask for more money. Stop asking for more money. Y'all don't want fans in the arena. The Boston Celtics boo the other players all the time. Oh my God.
The bottom line is simple. Indiana Fever fans owe no one an apology. They invested in a player who didn't invest in them. They showed up, bought in, and believed in someone who bailed when things got hard. Booing Dana Bonner wasn't tasteless, it was the natural, justified reaction of a fanbase that understands what commitment means in professional sports. And when a player breaks that commitment, there are consequences. Aliyah Boston's decision not to condemn the fans wasn't just savvy, it was a genuine acknowledgement of who really powers this league. Fans buy the tickets. They wear the jerseys. They show up whether the team wins or loses. And when that loyalty is betrayed, their response deserves respect, not criticism. Boston gets that. She leads with poise, shows up when it matters, and protects the people who support her. That's why she's the kind of leader the Fever can build around. Meanwhile, Bonner's time in Indiana won't be remembered as a chapter, it'll be remembered as a warning.